Ahoy there, speculative pirates, pastafarians, and ye seekers of sacred carbohydrates. Welcome aboard. I be Captain Dread Pirate Higgs, humble host for the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster of British Columbia, and licensed purveyor of spiritual marinara. If you be new here, this be a pastafarian sermon served up weekly, devoted to the praise and glory of our Noodly Lord, wherein we explore life, spirituality, philosophy, and other matters of importance, such as whether or not pineapple belongs on pizza. And for the record, no toppings are forbidden by the monster. So don your colanders and tricorns with pride, fill your goblets with grog, arm yourselves with the instruments of consumption, and let the spiritual feasting begin. Ahoy! Jolly Friday, me mates and fellow pastafarians. We gather this day under the saucy gaze of the flying spaghetti monster to celebrate a most curious and savory observance, Paella Day. Now, at first glance, some among ye, particularly the more orthodox noodle fundamentalists, may feel a stirring of confusion in their calendars. Captain, they might whisper, clutching their pasta strainers with trembling hands. This is right. And to them I say, aye, it is. But let us not be hasty in our judgment, for the flying spaghetti monster, in his infinite, though possibly slightly tangled wisdom, did not limit creation to a single form of carbohydrate. Nay, it scattered sustenance across the world like a drunken pirate scattering doubloons across a tavern floor. And in the sun-kissed lands of Valencia, there arose a dish not of noodles, but of grains, golden, glistening, and infused with the bounty of land and sea. A dish prepared not in isolation, but in fellowship. A dish known as paella. Now, paella, me hearties, is no ordinary meal. It is a ceremony of sustenance in a pan. Consider its construction: a wide vessel, open to all who gather round, a foundation of rice, humble yet steadfast, a chorus of ingredients, seafood, meats, vegetables, spices, each bringing its own voice to the grand symphony of flavor. Is this not, in its essence, a reflection of the pastafarian ideal? For what is our faith if not a gathering of unlikely ingredients? Skeptics and believers, pirates and landlubbers, all tossed together in their great cosmic colander, touched, however lightly, by his noodly appendage. And let us speak, too, of patience, for paella cannot be rushed. Oh, no. It demands time. It demands attention. It demands that the cook resist the unholy urge to stir endlessly like an over-caffeinated deckhand. Instead, it teaches us to wait, to allow the flavors to mingle, to trust the process, to believe without peeking too often that something glorious is forming beneath the surface. And then comes the miracle, the sacred socarrat, that golden crackling layer at the bottom of the pan, born of heat, restraint, of timing, and just a bit ahead of danger. Too little, and it never forms. Too much, and it chars into tragedy. But when it achieved, when achieved, it is a revelation of texture and taste. Crisp yet tender, smoky yet rich. A hidden treasure discovered only by those willing to dig a little deeper. And is this not the way of enlightenment itself? That the deepest truths are not always on the surface, but require a bit of scraping, a bit of persistence, and occasionally a slightly charred spoon. Now, some will still ask, stubborn as barnacles, but Captain, if paella is not pasta, does it truly fall under his saucy dominion? To which I say, Our faith is not a narrow strainer that lets all but one's shape slip through. It is a great and forgiving colander, catching all that nourishes and delights. For the flying spaghetti monster, in his boundless generosity, does not decree rigid commandments, but offers instead gentle suggestions, among them being that food is to be shared, that laughter improves digestion, and that any meal eaten in good company is, by its definition, sacred. And what is paella, if not the ultimate act of sharing? One pan, many spoons, no borders, no divisions, and no one left unfed. So, on this paella day, let us embrace the spirit of the shared pan. Invite others to your table or your deck if you're living properly. Cook more than you think you need. Argue passionately over ingredients, and eat them anyway. And remember that perfection is not found in strict adherence to tradition, but in the joy of the meal itself. For whether noodle or grain, whether boiled, baked, or bravely seared at the bottom of a well-loved pan, all carbs are part of the great, delicious tapestry woven by His Noodly Grace. So raise your forks, your spoons, your ladles, and any suspiciously large serving implements you may have acquired through questionable means, and repeat after me. May our pans be wide, our spices bold, our company merry, and our leftovers plentiful, but never quite enough. Go forth now, me hearties, and cook with courage, eat with enthusiasm, and share without hesitation. The noodly one be praised. Ramen. If you've enjoyed today's sermon, or it has at least given you a hankering for pasta, consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and sharing it with a friend who could use a little more carbohydrate-based philosophical perspective and saucy theological inspiration. New sermons arrive every Friday, God willing, because our monster appreciates a degree of regularity and plenty of leftovers. Until next time, may you be touched by his noodly appendages, sated by his zesty sauce, and cradled in his comfy colander. Fair winds, following seas, and as ever, ramen. Aye, aye, and goodbye.